Your father left you the cabin, the lawyer said, sliding the envelope across the mahogany desk. I stared at it like it might bite me. After 12 years of silence, this was what I got. Not an apology. Not an explanation. Just a rundown property in the middle of Maine that I'd never even seen. I didn't want it. I told Mr. Patterson that right there in his sterile office with its leather chairs and the view of downtown Portland. The fluorescent lights hummed above us, cold and indifferent. He adjusted his glasses, his expression carefully neutral in that way lawyers perfect over years of delivering bad news. Unfortunately, Mr. Holbrook, he said, the will is ironclad. The property cannot be sold or transferred for 1 full year. You must take possession and maintain it during that time, or it reverts to the state. I felt my jaw tighten. He planned this. Mr. Patterson said nothing, which told me everything. My father, even in death, was still playing games. Still trying to control me from beyond the grave. Still refusing to let me walk away clean. The drive north took 4 hours. Every mile felt like peeling back years I'd spent trying to forget. The highway gave way to 2-lane roads, then gravel, then dirt. Pine trees crowded in on both sides, their branches heavy with early November snow. The GPS lost signal 20 minutes before I arrived, leaving me to navigate by memory of directions I'd scrawled on a gas station receipt. When the cabin finally came into view, I almost laughed. Almost. It wasn't the romantic retreat you see in magazines. No charming stone chimney or wraparound porch. Just a squat, gray structure with peeling paint and a sagging roof, surrounded by overgrown brush and silence. So much silence. I killed the engine and sat there, hands still gripping the wheel. The wind moved through the trees with a sound like rushing water. No other houses, no power lines. Nothing but wilderness stretching in every direction. This was his idea of a gift. I grabbed my duffel and approached the front door. The key Mr. Patterson had given me stuck in the lock, forcing me to jiggle it for a full minute before something clicked. The door swung inward with a groan through the empty interior. Dust hung in the air, visible in the weak afternoon light filtering through grimy windows. The smell hit me immediately. Mildew, old wood, and something else. Something I couldn't quite place. Faint and sharp, like metal left too long in the rain. The main room was sparse, a worn couch, a wooden table with 2 chairs. A stone fireplace that looked like it hadn't been used in decades. Everything was covered in a fine layer of gray dust, untouched, abandoned. I dropped my bag and moved deeper into the cabin. 3 other rooms branched off the main space. A tiny kitchen with rusted fixtures. A bathroom with a cracked mirror. And a bedroom containing nothing but a metal, framed bed and a dresser with all its drawers removed. On the dresser sat a single item. A leather-bound journal. Pristine and out of place among the decay. I picked it up slowly, feeling the weight of it in my hands. The leather was soft, well cared for, recent. I opened to the first page and saw my father's handwriting. Neat, deliberate, unmistakable. To my son, if you're reading this, you came. Good. You need to understand what happened here. You need to know why I did what I did. Start with the basement. My throat went dry. I looked around the cabin again, searching for a door I'd missed. There, partially hidden behind the couch, was a narrow entrance I'd taken for a closet. My hand hesitated on the knob. Every instinct told me to leave, to get in my car and drive back to Portland and let the state have this place. But something stronger than fear kept me rooted. Curiosity, anger. The need to finally understand the man who'd raised me in silence and left me with questions. I opened the door. Wooden stairs descended into darkness. The smell was stronger here. Sharp, metallic, wrong. I found a light switch and flipped it. Nothing happened. Of course. I pulled out my phone, turned on the flashlight and started down. Each step creaked under my weight. The temperature dropped with every footfall until I could see my breath. At the bottom my light swept across the space. It wasn't a basement. It was a workshop. Workbenches lined the walls, covered in tools I didn't recognize. Strange instruments with sharp edges and precise calibrations. In the center of the room sat a table. On that table was a box, wooden, about the size of a shoebox, with intricate carvings covering every surface. I approached slowly. My light catching details in the carvings. Symbols, not random but deliberate. Repeating patterns that seemed to shift when I looked at them too long. I reached for the box. Then stopped. Something was inside. I could hear it. A faint ticking, regular and mechanical. My father's voice echoed in my memory. Never open something you don't understand. But he'd left this for me. Left the journal, left instructions. This was part of whatever message he was trying to send. I lifted the lid. Inside was a watch. Not just any watch. A pocket watch, gold, impossibly intricate, with hands that moved in ways that defied logic. Multiple dials within dials. Markings in languages I didn't recognize. And beneath it, a folded piece of paper. I unfolded it with trembling fingers. This watch doesn't tell time, it shows time. Past, present, future, all moving together. Your grandfather found it in 1952 while surveying land in northern Canada. He thought it was valuable. He was wrong, it's not valuable. It's dangerous. I've spent 40 years trying to destroy it, I couldn't. Every method I tried, it survived. Fire, acid, crushing force, nothing worked, so I hid it. Kept it away from people who would use it. People who understood what it could do. Now it's yours. Not because I hate you. Because you're the only person I trust to keep it hidden. Don't try to use it. Don't try to sell it. Don't let anyone know it exists, just keep it here. Keep it safe. Keep it forgotten. If you're reading this, I'm gone. That means they might come looking. The people who know about the watch. If they find you, give them nothing. Tell them it was destroyed. Tell them I took the secret to my grave. Whatever you do, don't let them have it. I know I was a terrible father. I know I kept you at arm's length your whole life. This is why. This thing. This curse. I was protecting you the only way I knew how. By staying away. Forget me if you can't. But protect the watch. Always, Dad. I read the letter 3 times, my hands shaking harder with each pass. This was insane. Paranoid delusion from a man who'd clearly lost his grip on reality in his final years. I picked up the watch, expecting to feel something, some surge of power or dread. Nothing happened, it was just a watch. Beautiful, yes. Unusual, certainly, but just metal and glass and craftsmanship. I was about to close the box when I noticed something. The watch's main dial was moving. Not forward. Backward, the hands were reversing, slowly but unmistakably. I froze. Watching, the second hand ticked counterclockwise. Then stopped, then ticked forward twice, then backward again. It wasn't broken. It was responding. To what? I didn't know. I closed the box quickly and stepped back, my heart hammering. Upstairs I heard something. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, moving across the wooden floor of the cabin. I hadn't locked the door. Hadn't even closed it properly in my rush to explore. The footsteps stopped directly above me. Then a voice, muffled but clear. Mr. Holbrook. Are you here? I didn't answer. Didn't move. My light was still on, pointing at the box. If they came down, they'd see everything. Mr. Holbrook, my name is Dr. Sarah Chen. I worked with your father. I need to speak with you about something he left behind. I grabbed the box and moved the darkest corner of the basement, killing my light. The footsteps approached the basement door. I know this seems strange. She continued, her voice closer now. But your father and I were colleagues. He told me if anything happened to him, I should check on you. Make sure you understood. Understood what? I called out, keeping my voice steady. A pause. What he was protecting. The door at the top of the stairs opened. Light spilled down, and a silhouette appeared. A woman, slight, with dark hair pulled back. She didn't come down immediately. Just stood there, backlit, waiting. Your father saved my life, she said quietly. 3 years ago, there was an incident. People trying to take the watch. He stopped them, got hurt doing it. I wanted to believe her. Wanted to think my father had been some kind of hero. But trust wasn't something I gave easily. Not anymore. Why should I believe you? I asked. Because if I wanted to take the watch, I wouldn't have knocked. Fair point. I stepped into the light, the box held against my chest. She came down the stairs slowly, hands visible, non-threatening. Up close, she looked tired. Dark circles under her eyes, a faint scar along her jawline. You have it, she said, her eyes on the box. Not grieved. He really did leave it for you. What is it? I asked. She smiled sadly. Honestly, we don't know. Your grandfather's story is true. Found in Canada, impossible to date, impossible explain. It doesn't just show time. It manipulates it. Small ways. Local ways. We've seen it reverse aging in plants. Accelerate decay. Once we watched it make a photograph change. Same picture. Different moment. That's impossible. I know. She looked at me directly. Your father spent decades studying it, not to use it, to understand it, to keep it from people who would weaponize it. There's a group. Well-funded, international, they collect objects like this, Things that shouldn't exist. They'll know he's dead. They'll come looking. Let them come. I said, surprising myself. They can have it. No, she said sharply. They can't. You haven't seen what happens when items like this fall into the wrong hands. The chaos. The damage. Your father died protecting this. Don't throw that away because you're angry at him. Her words hit harder than I expected. I looked down at the box, feeling its weight differently now. What am I supposed to do? Exactly what he asked. She said. Keep it hidden, keep it safe. And if they come, which they will, you tell them nothing. That night, Dr. Chen left. She gave me her number, told me to call if anything strange happened, and drove away into the darkness. I was alone again. The cabin felt different now. Not empty. Occupied by secrets. I sat at the wooden table, the box in front of me, and opened my father's journal. Page after page of notes, observations, theories, and scattered throughout, personal entries. Marcus turned 7 today. I wanted to call, I wanted to hear his voice, but what would I say? How do I explain that I can't be the father he deserves? Because I'm too busy guarding something that shouldn't exist. How do I tell my son that every moment I spend with him puts him in danger? So I don't call, I send a card, I keep my distance. I hate myself for it. But I do it anyway. Because the alternative is worse. If they knew I had a family. If they knew about Marcus, they'd use him. Use him to get to me. Use him to get to the watch. I can't let that happen, so I stay away. I break his heart slowly from a distance. It's the cruelest kindness I know. But it's all I have. I closed the journal, my eyes burning. All those years, all that silence, he wasn't abandoning me. He was protecting me. The realization didn't erase the pain. Didn't undo the damage. But it shifted something. Made space for understanding where only anger had lived. I spent the next 3 days exploring the cabin. Found hidden compartments, false walls, a whole network of hiding places my father had built over the years. In one I found photographs. Me as a baby. Me at my first day of school. Me graduating high school. Every major moment, documented from a distance. He'd been watching. All the 4th night they came. I was asleep when the sound woke me. Not loud, just wrong. The subtle click of a lock being picked. I was out of bed in seconds, phone in hand, moving silently through the darkness. I'd prepared for this. Dr. Chen's warning had been clear. 3 figures, dressed in black, moved through the cabin with practiced efficiency. They knew the layout. Knew where to look. I watched from the bedroom doorway as they searched. Professional. Thorough. One of them spoke quietly into a radio. Negative on main floor. Checking basement. I had maybe 30 seconds. The watch was still in the basement. Hidden in a compartment behind the workbench. If they found it, everything my father had died protecting would be gone. I couldn't let that happen. I stepped into the hallway. Looking for something. All 3 spun toward me. The closest one smiled cold, practiced. Mr. Holbrook, we were hoping to speak with you. In the middle of the night, breaking into my home. Extenuating circumstances, he said. We're willing to pay, generously, for the item your father left you. Don't know what you're talking about. His smile widened. Of course you don't. Fortunately, we don't need your cooperation. Just your absence. He nodded to the others. They moved toward me. I ran, not toward the door, toward the basement. If they wanted the watch, they'd have to go through me to get it. I hit the stairs fast, taking them 2 at a time. Behind me, footsteps pounded, voices shouted. I reached the bottom and slammed into the workbench, fumbling for the hidden panel. It popped open. The box was there. I grabbed it and spun around as the first figure reached the bottom of the stairs. Don't make this difficult, he said, breathing hard. Hand it over and walk away. I held the box tighter. You want it? Come take it. He lunged. I sidestepped, using his momentum against him. He crashed into the workbench. The second attacker was smarter, more cautious. She circled, looking for an opening. You're outnumbered, she said. You're outmatched. This doesn't end well for you. Maybe, I admitted. But it ends worse for you. I opened the box. The watch gleamed in the dim light. I picked it up, felt its weight, its strange warmth. Your father spent years trying to destroy this, she said. What makes you think you can use it? I don't need to use it, I said. I just need to make sure you can't have it. I moved toward the stairs. They blocked my path. The third attacker, silent until now, spoke. His voice was different. Older. Authoritative. You don't understand what you're holding. That watch is one of 12. 12 objects that shouldn't exist. We've collected 9. 3 remain. This is one of them. In the wrong hands it could unravel decades. Centuries. Rewrite history itself. And you think your hands are the right ones. He smiled. We think nobody's hands are right. That's why we collect them. Lock them away. Remove them from the world. That's what my father was doing, I said. Exactly what you claim to want. Your father was one man. Fallible. Mortal. We're an organization. We have resources, security, permanence. You also have people who break into homes in the middle of the night. His expression hardened. Last chance. Give us the watch or we take it. I looked at the watch in my hand. Looked at these people who claimed to be protectors but acted like thieves. My father had trusted me with this. Not them.
Me, no.
I said. They moved as one. I did the only thing I could think of. I turned the watch's main dial. Nothing happened. Then everything happened. The room lurched. Time stuttered. I saw the attackers moving toward me, then saw them frozen mid-step. Then saw them rewinding like a video playing backward. The basement filled with not electric light. Something else. Something that came from the watch itself. It pulsed. Rhythmic. Alive. The attackers stumbled, disoriented. One of them screamed, clutching their head. The light intensified. I felt it pulling at me. Not physically. Deeper than that. Like it was tugging at the moments that made up my existence. I turned the dial back. The light stopped. The room settled. The attackers were gone. Not gone. They were there. But different, younger. Older, I couldn't tell. Time had touched them in ways I didn't understand. They stared at me with confusion. With fear. Then they ran. Up the stairs. Out the door. Into the night. I stood alone in the basement, the watch quiet in my hand, and understood what my father had been protecting. Not just an object. A responsibility. A burden. A choice. The next morning, Dr. Chen arrived. I told her everything. She listened without interrupting, her expression growing more serious with each detail. When I finished, she was quiet for a long moment. You turned the dial, she said finally. I know, I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to. You survived. I blinked. What? Your father tried to use it once. Just once. It nearly killed him. The watch responds to intent. To need gave you what you needed, protection. And it didn't destroy you in the process. She looked at me differently then. With something like respect. Maybe he was right to leave it to you. We spent the next week securing the cabin. Reinforcing the hiding places. Setting up early warning systems. Chen brought in people she trusted. Former colleagues of my father's. People who'd dedicated their lives to keeping objects like the watch out of circulation. I learned their stories. The sacrifices they'd made. The prices they'd paid. My father wasn't alone. He'd been part of something larger. Something necessary. And now so was I. 1 month later I was still at the cabin. The year my father's will required felt different now. Not a punishment, an education. I'd started reading his journal from the beginning. Understanding his work. His fears. His hopes. In the final entry written days before he died, he'd written. If Marcus reads this, if he chooses to stay, he'll understand what I could never explain. That love sometimes looks like distance. That protection sometimes looks like abandonment. That the hardest gift to give is the truth, especially when the truth is dangerous. I hope he forgives me. But more than that, I hope he survives. That he finds meaning in this burden. That he becomes the guardian I tried to be and failed. The watch is his now. But more importantly, the choice is his. He can walk away. Let the world handle its own mysteries. Or he can stay. Shoulder the weight, carry the secret forward. I can't tell him which to choose. I can only tell him that whatever he decides, I'm proud of him. I always have been in from a distance. Especially from a distance. Goodbye, son. Be brave. Be careful. Be free. I sat by the window, watching snow fall over the Maine wilderness, and realized I'd already made my choice. Not out of obligation. Not out of guilt. But because some burdens are worth carrying. Some secrets are worth keeping. Some legacies, no matter how heavy, are worth protecting. The inheritance nobody wanted had become the purpose I needed. And in the silence of the cabin, surrounded by my father's life's work, I finally understood. He'd given me more than a property. He'd given me a reason, a mission, a way to matter. The watch sat in its box, hidden and safe. Waiting. And I sat watching over it, no longer angry, no longer lost. Just awake, just aware. Just beginning to understand that sometimes the gifts we reject are the ones we needed most. Outside, the wind moved through the pines. Inside, I opened my father's journal to a blank page and began to write my own entry. The first of many. Day 1. I'm staying, not because I have to. Because I choose to. Because he was right, some things are worth protecting, even if it cost everything. Especially then. I understand now, Dad. I finally understand.